Welcome to Deep Thought. Many work to discredit truly intelligent people. And I have to shout out Officer Charles Faulkner, who inspired this from a post he had on IG. And the post was, the worst thing about actually being intelligent is that everybody will go out of their way to try their best to undermine or discredit it. And I even shouted, I said, you know what, I like that. I saved that post. And, and I told him I'd shout him out. Because that's something to think about. Think about when people are truly intelligent, truly smart. And you know what, it could be in myriad ways. It could be in myriad ways. Obviously, book smart, intelligent in something. Like one of the ways people will try to undermine that person. They'll say, yeah, they book smart, but they don't have common sense or something. Because what it is, they'll look for it or try to discredit the information that the person is bringing or the knowledge. Or sometimes a person has just natural creative intelligence. They're thinking good thoughts. And deep down, somebody can recognize it, but since they can't think the same thoughts, they'll try to say, oh, no, they're not as smart. Like it's constant. It's constant. You see it with somehow people respond to certain YouTube content creators. They'll say, no, I'm smarter than him. I'm smarter. And indeed, sometimes a person will bring some information that they came up with, but then somebody will try to discredit them. I've seen occasions when people will try to tell them their own information. Oh, no, that's not right. That's not correct. And you know what it is, really? Many people really don't have that intelligence, because you will find the people who try to discredit someone else's intelligence usually don't have much themselves. They really don't. Well, no, in most cases, there's an exception. There's an exception I'll get into in a second. But most of the time, they might not feel as smart, so they'll say they're looking for the weakness. Like when you have, sometimes many kids have found this. Many kids who are very smart in school, and somebody will try to find something wrong with them, especially if the person is confident in their intelligence. They're confident in how they share information. They're confident in how they make observations. And quite frankly, a lot of times they might be right. Some people are just smarter in certain areas. It's my belief everybody has something that they're good at, but we're talking like obviously smart, obviously intelligent. And I say most of the time it's because the other person going in isn't as intelligent. Makes them feel bad. Now, I say there was a kind of an exception. Sometimes you do have some people who are very intelligent themselves and they want to be the smartest in the room and everything. They're really arrogant with it. So then when someone else comes who has equal or probably even more signs of being intelligent, they'll try to break them down. They good with them until they show they're smarter. You know what? I remember I was in college. When I was in college, and I had this guy, and he was sitting next to me, and in class, he was pretty friendly. He was pretty friendly. And I never forget, there was a test, right? There was a test, and we would get number scores, and the teacher didn't care. The teacher was actually very cool, liked the guy. But he would, he'd just give people the test back. People look at their scores and all of that. And I remember this dude got the dude next to me got his test back, 95. And we graded on a curve. So it was an A. If you had 90 and above, it was an A. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Ron got the test back, 97. 97. And, it was both an A. Okay, I got 2 points more than the guy. But I never forget, because he was that type of person. They cool with you, smiling in your face until you do something better. And this is back in the 80s. Could have been a racial thing because it was a white guy. I never forget. He already had an A. he made us, one of the things the teacher did was he give people a chance for extra credit. Now, dude already had an A. And then he specifically did something to get extra credit so he could get a few points more. And I was just like, okay, I see how you are. You know, sometimes that competition thing gets in there. So, and those are rare cases. Most of the time, though, people can, I'm gonna tell you what, in this day and age, people can actually get triggered if you point out something. And it's not just the information, but maybe you have an observation, you can see stuff. You got that street smarts and you can see something. And it triggers someone because you actually point out something to them without trying that makes them feel triggered or makes them feel dumb, makes them realize, hey, this ain't for it. And you know what's interesting? Sometimes, and that's halfway another video, but maybe I'll do it in a couple of weeks. Well, actually, I've talked about that before when someone's reality is shattered. And that's what truly intelligent people, they can do that one way or the other. Maybe by having that information, having that knowledge, and then someone feeling dumb behind it, you know? And, you know, as a quote from Officer Faulkner, it said, sometimes people will go out their way to do it. Like they have to show they're not as smart or something. You know, it could, like I said, it could be myriad reasons, whatever. Like they'll try to compete because they don't, like I say, in most cases, they don't feel as good. Even in cases where, like I mentioned with that class thing, you know, like I said, this is the 80s. We were at a conservative school. So that could have been like, oh, wait, I can't let this black guy have a higher score than me, you know? And it's just like, okay. And like I said, I ain't even saying anything. I was just like, that's some extra stuff, because nobody had taken extra credit at that point. But he still had an A, but had to beat Rom. I was like, oh, man. And that's one of the things, too. Now, this is what I would say. If you have knowledge or whatever in something, don't always think somebody's going to be cool with it. Some people will, like a smart person, they'll just learn from it. And a truly smart person to know, they don't know everything. You know, I always say sometimes, like personally, I can't explain quantum physics in Mandarin. So if I meet somebody who speaks Mandarin, I ain't going to be mad, hey, you speak Mandarin. I'm like, man, that's cool, man. Wow. Or if they know quantum physics, hey, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to get out the pen and paper, just sit there and listen. See, one thing about true intelligence, too, a truly intelligent person realizes they don't know everything. And then that if they come across somebody who has knowledge, no matter what it is, it could be on how to make a lawn look real good. They're going to be humble about it. It's like, oh, okay, how do you do that? You know, no matter what, everybody's smart in something. But then when you have people, one of the things I've seen when people do have a problem with somebody intelligent, if you really dug deep or if they bothered to be honest, you'll find that that person had issues around intelligence. Seriously, and I've seen it on so many levels. And then if you dig even deeper, they've had reason to feel like they're not as smart. So, I mean, that's something to think about. That's something to really think about. And what I would say is this: never feel bad for whatever knowledge that you have, whatever smarts that you have. Like I said, everybody got, they should know something in some area. Like I said, people have told me how intelligent I am and say, oh, Rom, you deep. But like I said, I can't explain quantum physics in Mandarin. You know, there's a lot of things I don't know, and I'm good with it. If somebody shows some intelligence in the area, I want to listen. Even with everything I talk about, whether it's relationships, money, or something of that nature, if they show that they have some knowledge, I'm sitting there listening. I'm asking questions because I'm like, okay, you know. But, you know, some people don't have that attitude. And if you ask them why they really disliking somebody, just ask them why. What does this person do to you? you know? It's really not a person, but it's really within them. I want y'all to think about that, all right? So anyway, that's all I have for now. I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.